Hey, are you looking to upgrade your key life areas and evolve to a higher level of existence? To practically harness personal growth and spirituality in a crazy, busy, imperfect world? Then you've come to the right place. My name is Prash, and this is Urban Spirituality, the show which uniquely fuses ancient wisdom with contemporary self-growth and spiritual disciplines to deliver value-adding tools, traits, and insights to help you unleash your fullest potential. We always keep it real, featuring authentic, unfiltered dialogue with guests from diverse backgrounds to inspire, entertain, and enlighten all who listen. So get ready for your dose of urban spirituality. Be present and let's dive in.
You sometimes have allies and associations, friends who don't necessarily serve you anymore, and I rather than excommunicating, what I've done is I found is my not I still give a shit. It's about I so focus on what I want to do, and these people don't necessarily fit into the same arc or results that I want. So they just naturally kind of drop off. But sometimes you do actually have to have a conscious decision. You are who you hang around. What's that saying, Prash? Probably you can tell me. The 5 people you hang around, you resonate. But
yeah, we are the essence of the 5 people we spend most time with.
Hey, Stuart. So if you're hanging around people who are talking shit all the time, sad, miserable, victims, supporting your habits, your negative habits, that's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, we all want a friend, an ally, but sometimes you want your friends to like, no, Reid, you're talking shit, mate. You know, that's not good. You know, you need that. You need that. There's ways to do that. You don't have to be so nasty. But I've talked a lot. Let's hear Master Prash.
So let me share. Thanks, Alex. I think you've hit some good points here. And let me just share something. There was a survey done back in the at the end of the 70s, kind of around the Reagan era, when Ronald Reagan was president in the States, and the study was done on why friends grow apart. And interestingly, they found that the biggest reason why friends grew apart, or one of the biggest reasons, I don't want to misquote, one of the biggest reasons wasn't necessarily because they had the friends weren't, the other people weren't helpful. It wasn't that, so-and-so friend wasn't as helpful and as supportive as they would have liked. It's actually because they were negative, or they had negative, bad habits or behaviors that just drove them away. That, it's kind of what you said. Some friends, so-called friends, were shitty. They were negative. They were not, they were deliberately trying to sabotage your progress in some way, whether it's directly as a direct attack or indirectly. And it was that negativity that was the biggest driver in friends growing apart. Not so much the lack of support or just, the passivism, because we've all got a lot of friends who are kind of like neutral. They're not necessarily supporting us. I don't know about you, Alex. I got a lot of friends who I would call them mates. In fact, in Indian, it's interesting because there's in Indian, there's several words for the word friend. One of them is one of those words is dost, and one of those is mitra. A dost is like a mate. Dost, D-O-S-T. And a dost is like a mate. A mate is like drinking companions, people you hang out at the gym with. You're not real close with. You're not opening up all your heart to. And then a mitra is more like a friend, a close friend. And just like that, we all have friends like that. And I think part of the problem we have is we sometimes confuse the circle or the range within which a certain friend operates. We may confuse somebody who's actually more of a mate as a close friend. Then we open up and then we spill our hearts and we get close to them, and then we get burnt, we get hurt. They don't support us, and then we get pissed that they didn't help us out. Like, where were you when I needed you? And in their head, they didn't see you as a really close friend. They just saw you as a mate. And so sometimes it's not because the first 2 friends are bad. It's because the expectation has changed. One's gone down from degraded from reduced themselves from a close friend to a mate.
And this is a lesson I've had to learn painfully over the years, being a little boy I finally feel like a man. I've always had the best intentions, and I thought everyone is going to have a good heart, and they don't.
Right.
And people are jealous, but
No.
friends can be jealous, and they can steer you in a way which isn't necessarily for your best interests, just
No.
because there's jealousy, and it's a lot. And you realise, hang on, people aren't like that, and I've done that way too many times. I've finally learned I do have to separate. I see the good in everyone, even my enemy, but still,
Right.
to be successful now in the next half of my life, it's time to do a bit of clearing out, maybe.
Introspection. Yeah, you got to do a little bit of spring cleaning with your friends, right? And
yeah,
and the thing is,
and it could be
and let's talk about. Well, it can be, but it doesn't have to be uncomfortable for everyone. That is to say, there's ways you can do it, right? You don't have to necessarily go to an old friend who you don't hang out with and block them on Facebook and say,
yeah.
I don't ever want to see you again.
Yeah.
There's different options how to do it. And I think it also speaks to the level of our psychological and our spiritual evolution as to how we deal with friends who aren't serving us or who we're not close to anymore is a reflection of how evolved we are as human beings. The less evolved we are, the more aggressive we're likely to be in cutting old friendships. The more evolved we are, the more we're going to realize that maybe this isn't working for us, and you just gently drift away. What I'm getting at is you don't have to take a hard approach and say you're an asshole and I don't want to be a friend with you anymore because you're just useless and selfish and you're negative. You don't have to be that hard.
It's not a case of not giving a damn because, like, no, this is where I'm going to be. You're no good to me. You're not that mercenary, but you're not aligned and focused to what I want to achieve. And just look, you don't necessarily cut them out. I mean, I have friends who I don't associate with anymore. I'm still friendly with them, and I still have a love for them. But it's just you don't have any of the same commonalities. You're like, but doesn't mean I have to say I'm never going to speak to that person again. It's sad some of the things didn't work out. But hey, you know, if I see them, it'd be nice to have a drink and be friends. But it'd be, what did you call it? The dost.
A dost, yeah, it would be like a drinking companion. You've devolved, you know, you're not as close anymore. And I think that's it. It's just like a dost. It's just a mate, you know. And I think
we talk about family, how that happens with family, isn't it? What do you think about? Maybe that's another subject. Blood thicker than water, sort of.
Yeah,
thing.
I think that's another subject. But there is a great saying, actually. There is a, and I'm mindful that there is a great saying on that, right? Friends are the family you choose to have, right? Family you can't necessarily choose, but friends are the family you choose to have. And I think I would love to share with all of you guys out there, and people have been making some great points along the way. Just want to say a big shout out, Sheila. Big kudos to what you're doing. Just sharing what you say. She says she's taking all this in currently. She goes, I'm 32 and in a refuge due to my ex-husband. Since I've left, I've never felt better in my life. Beautiful. Good. Marcus talking about mental health and illnesses. Big shout to Ush, who's joined us all the way from Australia, who's an emotional intelligence expert. She deals with this sort of stuff all the time. And I guess big time. Zoe agreeing as well. So big shout out to people. Let me just share a couple of things, a couple of realizations that I think I've had on the way, not only in my life, but in the lives of clients. One of the biggest things I get from the coaching clients that come to us, and coaching clients that I've worked with, you know, whether they're 25 or whether they're 55. And I get this from some of them saying, like, why is it that some of my friends are really unsupportive of where I'm going in life, or they don't approve of the partner that I've got, or they don't approve of the lifestyle I'm living? Why are they so unsupportive? And curiously, why is it that they become negative when I'm actually doing something positive in my life? Why is it that they're getting down on me when I've got this new job, new career? I'm actually making something of my life, and they're dragging me down.
Yeah.
And so what I want to share is a couple of reasons why this sort of stuff can happen. Firstly, our values may change. As friends, the values that brought us together were like when we were young. Like Alex, you can look back and you can probably, you know, mentally picture people who you grew up with. You guys had a certain shared set of values, right? You valued freedom. You valued the thrill of the chase. You valued danger. You valued whatever values that you had in common brought you together and kept you together, right? Now, those values change. Not everybody has those same values because the priority of the values, the significance of those values diminishes. A classic example is when you got a bunch of guys or girls and one of them ends up getting married and everybody else is single, suddenly the priorities and behaviors and you know everybody knows it, right? Somebody gets married, forget them. They're going to be off the radar for at least a year or two. They're not going to hang around with all their single buddies anymore, right? Values have changed.
One of the saddest things about this, because I understand where I want to get to, these people aren't necessarily serving, they're not on the same mission as me. Still have a love, but it can be sad because you kind of have to leave.
Yeah.
And it happens with family. The values, as you say, change. For instance, when you try and highlight, I sound high and mighty, but when you research things and you understand about medicine and you understand a better way of how to heal someone. I'm talking about family members, and I know of how to heal people, having researched the subject thoroughly and witness firsthand other people healing themselves, and your rest of your family is still stuck in a paradigm. And why? Because it's going to what I'm saying challenges their core values, and it's uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
And that becomes you. At first, I get angry. Just wake up. We could, and it's the same with friends and acquaintances. You want them to come on a journey with you, but they're not getting it. And like, it's a sad thing, and that is the thing. I can't not give a damn. I still give a damn because I don't want to leave them behind, and that makes me sad. But I want the best for everybody. And I try my best to get them out of the burning building, metaphorically. And they want to stay in the burning building.
Right.
Come on, guys. This is the way to get out of the burning building. And you're like, but listen, I'm not going to get burned. I've got things I need to do in this world, in this universe, in this life. And I'm going to make sure I survive. I'm going to do my best to get you out of the burning building. But it's not about me not giving a damn. But I'm so focused to make the world, the universe, a better place. I'm getting out of that burning building. If I'm telling you, please come follow me. You're going to burn. But hey.
Beautiful. I couldn't have said it better. And Alex, you've just touched on something that I'd love to come back to, which is one of the things we talked about our values changing as one reason why we drift apart, right? Another thing is what I call time warp syndrome, right? So some friends are stuck in a time warp. They're still living with your friends are still thinking you're the 30-year-old Alex who used to do this or that, or you're with a friend who still sees you as a person who you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And so they're stuck in this time warp syndrome. They haven't moved on themselves. And because they haven't moved on, they're not relating to you, and you can't relate to them anymore. I mean, you've moved on, you've evolved, your career's changed, your life's changed, you've been through a whole bunch of trials.
I have had my life from all the degradation and all the crap, continual crap. I still get the stuff about my ex-wife and all the silliness that's gone on in the past, which is more than 10 years ago. And people are stuck still. I don't harbour on about it. The reason why I brought this up, I was in the Bolton paper today as Katie Price's ex, and I'm like, oh God,
I know.
And I'm like, okay, it peeved me off for a millisecond, but I moved on from that, and I'm letting that go. You know, it's still annoying because people want to associate myself with that, but I'm not that person, and people you've judged before you've even entered the room. And then you have to have an but what it is, the trick it is to not care. And I'm not entirely there because I do care, because the fact I said,
no,
but every single day I'm getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I'm just going to go, why are we talking about this? Because me and Prash are doing a retreat on the 25th to the 27th in Harlow, Essex at Carbon Retreats. And we're going to do a transformational retreat. And one of the things that we teach and we live by is loving thyself. Self-acceptance, self-appreciation. There's tools and tricks you can use to do this, things like meditation, breathing, what you eat. You are what you eat. We need to move every day. We need to exercise. We need to think better. We need to breathe better. I cut you off. I'll let you get back to what we were saying. But that's why we're talking about this. I still struggle with this. but I'm feeling better and happier every single day. And I'm sure to the day I die, and I hope I've got a good 40, 50 years left in me, I'm going to still have struggles, different struggles, not the struggles I had today or yesterday, but different struggles. And that's what life's all about.
I couldn't agree more, Alex. And I think, again, you touched on it yet again, the importance of making good quality decisions in order to better our lives is partly related to our ability to not give a, and I think we should definitely do a separate live on the subtle art of not giving a damn and the benefits of doing so, right? Let that be a separate thing. But
Scarlett, I don't give a damn.
Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. Yeah, so I think that's definitely something that's part of that decision-making process, learning to not give a damn about other people's opinions when you're making a decision. But the other part of making a decision is improving the quality of our values. We need to have better values in order to make better decisions. And when we make better decisions, we'll have better actions, okay? And that's, we talked about this on the last retreat, right? When we did Hungary, you know, we did a deep dive on this, and we'll do some of this at the retreat for sure. But I think an important message for us here in this session is to maybe, as I love the way you put it, by the way, it's almost like doing an audit of all your friends, your close friends, your slightly further away friends, your mates who you meet at the gym, you know, the people you see here and there. Clean some out, do an audit, and you don't have to get rid of them harshly, but what you can do, and I got some ideas, I want to share this with you. If you have got friends, let me just put this to you, and I've done this in my own life. I've taught our coaching clients, clients that I just had a coaching client last week from Australia. We just had this very conversation. I coach him remotely in Australia, and he says, like, I've got friends and they're just not serving me. They're just dragging me down. I said, look, you could do several things. One, you could open up your heart, which is, you know, you're all about that, Alex. You'd open up your heart. You'd try and say, hey, look, this is where I'm at now. I've valued the friendship. You've been there for me in my times of trial and tribulations. I know that we're not kind of on the same path at the moment, but I want to be open. I want to tell you where I'm going, and I'd love you to be a part of that journey. If I can help you in your life to bring you on this journey over here, I'd love to do that. We're still friends, but I'm sorry we're not hanging around as much.
Something has really been bothering me. So, and I don't know if I should share. I'm going to share it because that's what I'm like. A family member who I love dearly, and we've grown apart, and it's like a brother. And I'm like, I've got to the point. I don't want him to burn in the building, the metaphorical building, and I can see him burning, and I'm burning, and I'm like, man, come out, please. And we've lost the closeness, although there will always be a super love,
that connection.
And I'm trying my best. I'm angry. I'm really angry, but that's not going to serve. What's going to serve is to put my heart out. Please, I love you. I mean, for the first time, and that's something the Reids haven't done.
Massive.
We've not said that. It's only since my dad passed away 3 or 4 years ago that we started to say, me and my dad, in the last few weeks, a month, we said we loved each other so much, and it was the most powerful thing. And since
bro,
then,
you're talking. Yeah,
we don't say that, and I'm trying to bring this on to my brother now. Come on, Rupert, I love you. Come on. And I love a lot of people.
Oh man, you're touching my heart, man. You're saying, you know, and I feel what you say. You know, I live it. You know, and I think we can all benefit from being that way. And maybe it's approaching a friend that you haven't been hanging around with for a while, or you're kind of uneasy. You got a distance, and rather than cutting them harshly and saying you don't serve me no more, bye bye. Maybe it's a case of opening up your heart and saying, hey, listen, I know we've kind of drifted apart. You've gone your way. Because sometimes it's not just value. Sometimes it's interest, right? You got interest in fitness, health, and training. Your old mate's caught up in being a computer programmer and, I don't know, doing whatever he's doing. So you guys drift apart. But it's sometimes having that real open conversation and saying, you know what, we shared some good times together. I know we're not as close as we used to, but I want you to know I'm always here for you. I'm just not spending as much time. If there's something I can do for you, reach out. I think using kindness of our heart.
It's these sort of conversations that I'm not blowing our own trumpets but I am blowing my own trumpet. These sort of conversations help, they help me access and realize
Yeah.
if I'm teaching this stuff, I need to live it. And now I'm living this. I've been living like this for the last couple of years now.
Hell yeah.
And I'm getting strong. I'm showing my heart. And sometimes I feel vulnerable. And
You
people
are.
say, you shouldn't do that. Well, no, I want to be real. And if we're going to help people. And what I noticed on the last retreat was I was blown away at the results we had. And it sounds like I am. I'm extremely proud and happy.
It's the damn truth, right?
Because
Big shout out to Dina, Robbie, Dave, who are with us.
Sad people. I don't mean that in a negative. They felt sad inside. They changed because they started loving.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's that bloody like? We don't talk about it. Stiff upper lip British thing. I mean, but we've talked a lot, Prash. Just want to say, I'm gonna say a few more words, and I'll let you. Please, this sounds silly, and I still ask the question, what's life all about? And I ask them all the time to everybody now. When it shouldn't be, when people say you shouldn't talk about religion and politics, well, I do. And what's life all about? And not in a head, but I do it with love. I'm like, there's no aggression. I'm okay. I think people should talk more. And people
should talk more. Yeah.
People think I can make people feel slightly uncomfortable, and that's not mine. But it's actually, I think me and you are slight disruptors, because what I want to do more than anything is make people raise their vibration.
It's the truth.
I don't feel like a Jesus Christ or a Buddha or a Gandhi, but I do feel, just in my own little way, if I can make someone smile or even think or question, and that's what I've got to do with my brother.
Hey folks, thanks so much for listening. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and as with all our episodes, found something to inform, inspire, and empower you in your personal and spiritual journeys in life. As always, feel free to leave a little love through your ratings and comments, subscribe, and share it with those you care about. And take your personal and spiritual evolution to the next level by joining us on one of our unique events, workshops, or retreats, or taking advantage of our personal and professional coaching packages. Find out more about us at mantratherapy.co.uk. I'm your host, Prash K. This is Urban Spirituality, and we will catch you on the next episode.